some youth coaching.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's perfect. Looks like we are rolling. What up, everybody? We're back at you, the Build
Great.
and Destroy show. Let me start us off with a good intro. I'll throw it on like this.
Click up, cause if you're looking for a better day, Build and Destroy is the only way. Cause if you're looking for a better day, Build and Destroy is the only way. Cause if you're looking for a better day, Build and Destroy is the only way. The only way.
That's how we does it. Bring him back in with the rough cut. We're back. Number 31. How you guys feeling today?
I'm good, man. I'm tired.
Bam. Oh, I got a 3-day weekend. I have Friday off.
But you don't have Monday off?
I do not have Monday off.
Well, at least you still got a 3.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. That's what I told myself.
Do you get paid extra for Monday?
I do.
Well, look, that's a double win.
It is. It's a good deal. Because kids are in school Tuesday, so I got to bring them their food on Monday.
Word up. Well, we're back, folks, once again. Of course, you know we're going to do updates on the current events. But you guys have anything you want to start with? Important news of the day, or promoting anything upcoming that you got?
I got something. We're live, so tomorrow on Memorial Day at 2 p.m. Larry Norman is having the yearly event by the memorial that he made. You know over there, Whikid, on like 23rd and
Alaska.
Yeah, and I think there'll be food and a speaker, a poet. I'm gonna try to get off work and get over there, but I'm sure the weather will be decent. That's a cool thing if you're in the neighborhood, you know. It's an archaeological testament to the real struggles that actual community members and neighbors survived and went through. And it's a cool spot in Tacoma. If you know, you know. I'm sure it's not on any type of city website.
No, definitely.
It's a true for the people by the people.
Looks like it is raining tomorrow morning, but it should decrease by 1 p.m. So yeah, hopefully by 2 it's over.
Yeah. So I mean, do you know about? I mean, you know about that memorial? It's a stone art piece dedicated basically to people that lost their lives. I would just honestly say in the gang era. I'm sure there's a better way to say that, but wouldn't you just agree that more or less?
Well, so I know that the writings on it, I believe it's all lives are precious, which is, kind of forbearing to the all lives matter combat against Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
which are originally.
It's an unfortunate coincidence, I would say.
Yeah. So let me see.
But it's got some more. It's got about a paragraph on there other than that quote. I'm going over to my Mama's with Tala for dinner, so y'all will get to see motion activities. Love you guys.
Love you, Bob.
Yeah, so here it goes. 90s war rage in Tacoma. 91, FBI declared Tacoma was the most violent city in the state. Next year ended with unrelated shootings of 15-year-old and 20-year-old. 65th and 66th homicides of the year in Pierce County. That was a record at the time. 93 began with 11 non-fatal drive-bys, and that was January 1st. 11 drive-bys on January 1st, 1993. It was about then when Hilltop resident Larry Norman reached his breaking point. And this is an article from the News Tribune from 2016. Enough was enough, he recalled. Even the gang members and drug dealers had gotten tired of it. He decided to build a monument to the lives that were lost. City granted a small section of green space at South 23rd in Alaska, along with 30 other people, including gang members, churchgoers, and children. Norman cleared the space and built a small monument just in time for a dedication on May 28th, 1993, which is why they're having it on Monday, because that was probably Memorial Day in 1993. There are no names on the monument, just a message. All lives are precious.
I ordered you a cheese pizza though. You did? Oh.
So go back to that first set. First of all, you pulled that up. Good job right there. Hosting the hell out of that. Right there, reading that right when we needed it. But that first stat, was that you said 60 homicides in Pierce County?
1991, FBI declared Tacoma the most violent city in the state. The next year, so 92, it ended with 66 homicides. And the last two were 15-year-old and a 20-year-old. And then 93 began with 11 drive-by shootings on the first day. But nobody died. It says 11 non-fatal.
Damn, but 60-something?
66 in 1992.
And like, and
Pierce,
it's
but
like
that's Pierce
what?
County
And
as
what-
a
what
whole,
is
not
it?
just
What-
Tacoma.
Last year it was probably what? 15, 20? I bet.
You said last year?
Yeah, like I'm just trying to see like how hectic that year, like in comparison to higher. I bet it's 20 something. My prediction.
Last year, it says 10 homicides with 11 victims. So I guess if you kill more than one person, it's still just a homicide.
So think about that. 60, what was it?
Hold on. After fatal
66?
Hold on. 66 in 1992. When is this?
And 10 last year.
Wait, no, this isn't right. This says. Let me go. Oh, no, this is this year. So it's picking back up. So as of April 29th, so a month ago, we had 11 this year. Last year, we had 6.
So 11 this year, 6 last year. So yeah, 10 basically is what we're dealing with now.
Well,
and
it's May right now.
Something.
Yeah. So right now, if we're on schedule based on 11 as of April, the end of April, that's 11 per quarter. That'll put us at 44 by the end of the year.
Okay.
So way more than last year. From 6 to 44 is what's called parabolic increase. Now who knows how the summer goes? We could still hit that 66 of 92. You never know. Things getting wild. So yeah, good. Hey, that was a good start. So I guess we might as well roll into our one of our updates for the week. Which one of y'all want to go first? I mean, I guess since Josh is driving, we might as well let Mae start.
Yeah.
Well, give us
Shit,
the breakdown.
As far as the battles and whatnot, we was following it felt like East versus West Coast Conference, and it felt like everybody started throwing their raps out there. It turned into everybody searching for any kind of rebuttal, and then it went cold real fast. So basically, last week, Monday, there was about 7 tracks that dropped. Everybody's firing missiles back and forth. Joey was holding his own. He had a couple people stepping up from New York, throwing their perspectives out. All of them weren't necessarily disses or battles towards people, but it was just a time for people to pop their stuff. And all in all, it was really good. It was good momentum for hip hop, man. I stayed tuned in for like maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nonstop. It was getting really hard to keep up with after a while. There was a lot of people that niggas never heard of that was putting stuff out. It just, after a while, you could only really listen to the main characters of the story. And Daylight, being one of the main characters, said it's over a few days ago. But if anybody wants to go back and follow that whole battle, there's probably about 90 relevant songs pertaining to the whole old Joey skerfuffle with TDEs, Ray Vons, and blah, blah, blah.
There's a lot of hungry MCs out there, to me, is what that shows.
Yeah, it felt like we reminded everybody that we can control the algorithm, you know?
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah, like they stole the algorithm away. Like, yeah, the Diddy stuff is going on, but as far as hip hop was concerned, that was the number one thing happening, man. Like, it felt good to be in the mix and talk to people and keep up with the newest songs. And I love how the West Coast was rapping over the East beats, and the East Coast folks was rapping over the West beats. It just started. Yeah, it felt like a Royal Rumble.
Yeah. For the sport of it, too.
Yeah, like I almost wanted to get in there.
Yeah.
Because I seen Jadakiss' son, he did drop something. And I don't know, for whatever reason, when I heard it, I was like, man, I want to throw something out. Just because he felt like he was at that. It feels like he's at our level, you know? Like not super known, but he can hold his own and he can make a song. And I was like, man, if that kind of grade of MCs is coming out, like I want to pop out too.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Anytime you see some MCs getting down, there's that itch to just join in the fight.
Yeah, like, it felt like the right weight class, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's a good spirit too, like, because it's not beef, like it's more of a joust.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's fun. That's the type of shit that's good to participate in. You know, it's like pickup basketball. It's like, you want to play? Go play.
Yeah.
We're all playing. It's competitive, but we're playing.
Yeah.
We're playing a sport.
Yeah, I feel like when you're just playing basketball by yourself at the court, and then all of a sudden you show up one day and there's like 50 people there and it's a 3-on-3 tournament. And you're like, yo, I want to play. Like, I play on this court all the time. But it was cool in the end. It turned out to be a cool little rollout, at the same time, because we do have Joey announcing an album in August, and we do know that Daylight and Low Deluxe battle is getting closer and closer. So it put good pressure on people that we haven't heard of, or that people that had certain plans but they haven't formulated yet. Like, a lot of people now have some pressure on them, some good pressure to perform while that light's still warm.
Yeah, it's good pressure.
Even a old dude on the GNX album, man, like Hitta and them guys, like those guys are still getting push, from having good verses on that album. And they even put out songs lately pertaining to the Joey stuff. And I just love to see it because it shows their versatility too. I didn't know them guys could write battle raps, but they're snapping on dudes too.
Who are some of the other unknown folks that came out? Like you said, at a certain point, you had to refocus on the main characters. But who are some of the other pop outs?
There's a dude, I forget his name. He's from the East Coast, but he was relatively unknown. But the perspective that he put out, it was almost like he wasn't choosing a side. It was just the way that the beat was and the way he was delivering it. It sounded like what the new New York sound will be. Like it, he was one of those ones, like I couldn't figure out who he sounds like. I'll try to find his name. And then on the West, the dude that I didn't hear of, I never knew Reason too much. I didn't know that.
I heard that one today. That was good.
Yeah, I didn't realize his whole story. Like the whole last week allowed me to research and learn more. But it was cool learning who Reason was or what the story was and why he felt he had a reason to respond. Like, it just reminded me there's a lot of good people out here, man.
He's TDE, right?
Yeah, he had supposedly got dropped.
Was he with one of the, like, was he was on TDE or something and got dropped?
Yeah, exactly.
So he came out on the East Coast side?
No, he's on the West. Old dude on the East, I forget his name, but he, man, I gotta look him up for you. He had a fresh beat, fresh perspective. It was hard to find a bias with him. It came off like, yo, I'm out here too.
that was you was trying to come at that angle.
Yeah.
Well, me, I don't I didn't listen to much, but I did look at this list that they said of artists that should join forces and support Joey Badass. Of course, the top of the list was Loaded Lux, which makes sense because, the Daylight battle. Well, they put J1 up there, which this article may have came out before he even dropped a rap. I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. Because, this article says there's 93 songs.
Yeah.
Dave East, Rome Streets, Nicki Minaj. Those are the, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 people that this random blog website says should join forces with him.
I'm proud of Joey, man. Joey did his thing. He did so many styles that I didn't think he could do, honestly. So I feel like there is no clear winner. The only winner is hip hop, I guess. because I heard people doing stuff I didn't think they could do, and it just felt like a total not a talent show, but test your might, Mortal Kombat. Like some people
He said, how good are you at button tapping?
Yeah, because I knew Joey could like break like the wood. I know he could break the metal, but I didn't know he was cracking emeralds too. But when he's making like freaking dancey, he made like a little West Coast bop in the likeness. And I was like, okay, he's one of those guys. Like he could just study and he could render that back out.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was cool to see. Like we used to do that back in the day when we were freestyling. We used to rap like DMX, or like I'll rap like Jay-Z and Jay-Z's voice with his style. And I don't know if it was copying or it was just a flex, like, hey, you could be emulated kind of thing. So it was always a cool angle to like impersonate it back and kind of see if you could flip their style better than them. I like that as an angle.
No, that is, I mean, to me, like, that would be
especially
like an
if you don't
exercise. That's like an exercise.
Especially if you don't got like so-called dirt on somebody, or like you can't, it's not always like personal snaps on somebody. Sometimes all you got is they flow, and what you've heard from them. And you're like, yo, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna Rubik's Cube it and toss it back to him.
Well, to me, I when you're as you're saying that, because I never heard nobody like do that. Like, I'm a freestyle as someone. But as you're saying it, what I thought of was, I thought of comedians doing, impersonation. Specifically, the black comedians, the Aries Spears, Godfrey,
Jay Farrow,
what's the old dude? Afian Crockett. Like I love him. He's filthy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's what it made me think of, and because they do that, in like the impersonations that they do can be comedians, but even if they're not, like Godfrey will do the Donald Trump, but really will not just talk like Donald Trump, but he'll say shit that Donald Trump would say to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's like, to be that level of mastery, if you're doing that in rap, just freestyling, like I said, that to me, that sounds like a fucking dope ass exercise to have, if we're doing an exercise session, go through at least a couple beats and have your rappers written down, and even have notes on, how your pronunciations and like,
yeah. I know. I noticed when I went to the Kendrick show, I noticed how much of he's into enunciation and pronunciation. Like all the T words that ended in T, he would say it. Like you could hear the T. And I noticed, like, he playing back his songs, he pays attention to those just that little sound. It can get cut off by certain mixes, or just if you don't deliver it, you may not catch that inflection. But I noticed I think that's where he gets busy the most at, is he's trying to nail the inflections of the words and the pronunciation.
That makes sense.
I think he would be the one, like, no, I got to say that word over. I don't think I said that word the way I wanted to say the word.
Look, shit, that's how I be rapping.
Yeah. But it is a detail that sticks out over time. I notice it does sound polished and clean, man, to the ear. But if I was to, you know, write in somebody's style, that's the kind of stuff I would pay attention to, you know, is how are these words moving across their tongue and their teeth, and how they use the air, and where are they coming from? Is it coming from the gut or the chest?
Well,
Like,
as far as the vocal attribute and how you're, I think I do way less on, spend less energy on. Well, no, I can't say that. I'm lying. The you know the how you, whether you're coming from the chest or nosy, like I made a batch of songs where I'm trying to use different voices on purpose and not having a good grasp of what voice I'm using. Kind of the song breaks down because of that. But the pronunciation side of things is just, I think it's more natural for me because there's songs that I still don't know what people said.
for real.
And I try to figure out and put together the words. It'll probably be real simple if they said it, or if I, sometimes the lyrics, when you look up raplyrics.com or whatever the current website that people use is, don't be correct because it's AI transcribing it. So they like, even rappers put out lyric videos with the words incorrect. Listen, I'm just saying actual factual. And this was an album that I fucked with. I still fuck with. I was listening to it. I only bring it up because I was listening to it like 2 weeks ago.
Warren G.
Nah.
What's NXTE? Warren G. That song. What's next? He says, "What's next? What's NXTE?" And I swear to God, I never got to talk to him, man. But I want to ask him, did you spell that wrong and just keep it? Because it was a good take.
Yeah, I mean those are to me. I would leave mistakes if it made sense. If I could explain it to you and you asked me.
Yeah.
Like
me too.
And sometimes I might even have a reason behind it, specifically like I did it on purpose, not that it was a mistake. So there's a Tupac bar that I think about a lot because it's one of my favorite songs. It's, he says we finally found. He said we finally find a spot. He's supposed to say we finally found, but he said we finally find. He said we finally find a spot to kick it. It's Thug's Mansion. Yeah. It's one of my favorite songs. But
yeah, you're right. I hear it now.
There's a couple kind of mistakes in that song that he keeps, but that's one. We finally find instead of finally found. And so I sometimes I'll be consciously thinking of words like that I could flip around on purpose.
Yeah, I like
the
that.
Words are wrong, and it's like a conscious mistake. Like you're making the mistake on purpose. It's like it's like an egg. You know how people leave, the Easter eggs and different things. It's like that's an Easter egg. That's just the way my brain thinks. But other than that, I be trying to pronounce everything correctly, Or when I do exaggerate, because to me that's an exercise too. And we're from a region where we don't have necessarily an accent, so you can't hide words the same way that other places can. Even in California, their lingo is a little bit, we draw from that, so we try to draw from all places, but we don't have a real, just our own, like real solid vernacular or accent. Like people the most accent that we got is just speaking correctly.
That's
like
right.
I'm saying from personal experience, a few times that I went down south to Florida to visit family, that's what they say.
Yeah.
You just speak proper. You speak white.
Yeah, we got told that down there in Arkansas by the relatives. They was all, y'all talk proper. Because we went down there calling soda pop and all that shit. They was cracking on us bad.
No, that's the real deal stuff.
I remember we drove past like a Denny's, and they had the little menu up there on the sign, and it said Hamb, HAMB, and eggs. Hamb with the B. I was like, yo, we really down here. It's on the sign.
Oh my God. That made me fall out the chair.
Yeah. Down there in Arkansas.
Ham with the B.
Yeah.
I wonder if it is spelled like that on their packaging. Look, now I gotta use my computer. Now this is just what we do. Do I put ham and cheese? Or what'd you say, ham and eggs or what?
Yeah, it was ham and eggs.
It doesn't come up when I type it in with the B, and everything comes up without the B.
Yeah, we went down there in the 90s, visited all of our relatives down there, and man, it felt like family reunion, the show my son be watching. The family reunion where they're from Seattle and then they go move down south. Same thing.
Okay, I'm gonna say, can ham be spelled as ham with a B? Yes. Ham. Look, the answer. Look, the answer says it backwards.
Wow.
The answer says ham with a B can be spelled as ham with no B. So it is a common misspelling of the word ham, which refers to a type of cured pork. So it is common.
Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, that made me, I had to fall on the ground when you said that. A ham with the B.
Yeah.
I'm about to put that in a rap. It's a fact. It's a fact. Ham with the B. Look, this is the perfect time. I think High Rise is still occupied, so I think we might as well. We're right at a good time for our break. I already got our sequence lined out. So, and then we'll come back. If he's not ready, I do have a topic.
Okay.
So what we gonna rock with? What did I have? I said 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're at 10 minutes and 10 seconds for these 4 joints right here. Let's see if they play in the order that I requested. Build and Destroy Show halftime.
We got some education program to find out what's going to be in the scenario. A lot of people work. You almost get out of called not a methyl revolutionary, but an X-revolutionary. So it's popped out. They brought on successful revolution. That thing in under miles was a bitch. Fancy freedom fighters, all that kind of action. What we saying is the end. But you don't judge Castro now. You can't do it. Nobody in this room can judge whether Castro's going to be a revolutionary or not. You know what I mean? We're talking about things, you know what I mean? China, the People's Republic, and even the states they in now, talking about even going on further into a communist state. That's what we talking about.
Earth on fire when they trying to start a riot. But a revolutionary praying to the highest ain't the same as stacking up bullets and glass bottles. Then learning how to make cocktails, mixologists. We all stars, no astrologists. White dwarfs imploding, trying to suck us all up in. Hold your breath, save up oxygen. Whole world underwater, octopus. Spark like flint rocks with pocket lint. Rage against the machine with a hotter flame. Stock trade on New York Stock Exchange. Prison labor strike, it's not a game. The common names we got deny those. And keep walking in line with a blindfold in a rat race. Grind till your mind's gone. You do you and we gon' You better watch your circle. The ones next to you try to hurt you. Think you dinner try to serve you. Patience is a virtue. You better watch your circle. The ones next to you try to hurt you. Think you dinner try to serve you. Patience is a virtue. Look, stay to myself, stay solid. Read books, absorb that knowledge. Self-taught, never went to college. My neighborhood ain't by Mr. Rogers. Since day one they tryna stop us. Hopping fences, ducking helicopters. Grew up playing cops and robbers. My own man grew up without my father. Don't cry now, why bother? I got sons and daughters. Teach them that honor. Respect life, not them dollars. Homie got hit with a chopper. Life is too short is what it offers. Time to come proper. Feet kicked up in the office. You better watch your circle. The ones next to you try to hurt you. Think you dinner try to serve you. Patience is a virtue. You better watch your circle. The ones next to you try to hurt you. Think you dinner try to serve you. Patience is a virtue.
Cash on the nightstand. When I'm all alone, the demon stops and I just can't.
It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears.
This is where you spit your 16. Free 16 open space. Spit your 16. This is where you spit your 16 open space. Spit your 16. This was not the order that I wanted. It was not the order that I wanted. Spit your 16, spit your 16. This is where you spit your 16 bars. Here comes the hook.
It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right
Alright,
here.
here we go.
Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears.
Hit you in the tooth with a jump rope and still spike the juice in the punch bowl. Lungs know they cigarette residue coated. Flow potent dope, no fentanyl in the potion. Ferocious style bottled up, floating across the ocean. No country for old men, hilltop to Coleman. Sasquatch is bombing on abominable snowmen. Cash crops grown on plots of land that's stolen. In the ghetto with the oven open, cause the furnace broken. Sitting in your living room with your winter coat and gloves on. No love shown, but never tripped though. I was scrapping metal before investing in crypto. Even told you won't stay woke, get you some Bitcoin. Why you not listening to Build and Destroy? That's rhetorical, metaphorical on the chorus. No tarot cards or horoscopes.
It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. It be hell over there. The party right here. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears.
Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. Listen with your eyes and smell with your ears. Listen with your eyes and smell with your.
Adapt, everybody. My
crew, we gets down to business, and after the mission is finished, we kicks it. My crew, we get down to business, and after the mission is finished, we kicks it. We kicks it. We kicks it. My crew, we gets down to business, and after the mission is finished, we kicks it.
In every cell, the atoms revolve around the nucleus, like the planets revolve around the sun. On me, you can come and get some. Oh, my knee, pod me, hum. My tongue is a gun. I'm about to let off one, let off some, let off on someone. My actual facts produce factual acts. My spats fracture your backs, wax have no counterattacks. Oh me, oh my, the sky ionize on my modus operandi. 365 times infinite. On your dean, or use a god on the job. Shake a 10 like you god, sham god. Any mushmouth MC get hit with a plus degree. Purpose plus desire equals 33.3 times infinity. Infinite creativity. You spit it acidic, you a reptilian lizard. Every line I rhyme is alkaline. God cipher divine, or when I go for mines. Rhymes by the oodles, aiming at your noodles. Third eye never blurry, saw the hypocrisy of the reverend hella early. Had me feeling 7:30, behold my skull flow cold just like it snowed.
And I revolve around the table of blunt plasters, waking up the blue dreams. My fools be faking moves like green screens. My brother made a restaurant, her face turned red cause he lost his lease. Quoting scriptures from ancient Greece, I just roll 10 swishers and look at the pictures. Because the weed is much thicker.
Circus. Bunch of clowns running around in clown cars. Gluttonous, gullible, gobble it all of the bull. Your bullshit is unbelievable. Be gone, the gall you get makes you get got. I'm in like amen, a man on Amen Ra. My own may slay y'all, be that as it may. Me and May, be that as above, so below. My bellow beckons, idiot, too idiotic to get the idiom. I'm Khalid El Amin with my you know what I mean. I'm ending y'all like fentanyl. When you all alone and you don't even have a best friend to call. I get so excited, I almost suicided. Atoms divided, molecules collided. Behold what is within, no break, all bend. Build and destroy Kalana pin, so cold with the pen. Bad, prosperous, pronounced preposterous. I've been there and did that, went there and went back. Brought the buried treasure home in my backpack. On, and it's like that.
May sign it in. Catch it. Yo, rough drafts led to shockingly smooth endings. And hot heads led to cool spending. Micronutrients led to mic grips, not dubious. Life slips away, the vice gets to play. Found localized in a global fray. Mobilized junctions in the clay. What was upwards was downwards. Once pondered with sound nerves. My nouns occur when I'm grounded to the earth. The resting place resembled that S shape. You question fate while the destined wait. Naked and not afraid till greatness has behaved. Calibrated egos from amalgamated peoples. Downgraded steeples, the town made it evil. Years fortified lectures from a clean soul. Definite shooting that seems whole. Definite test of a prerequisite for my etiquette. Sacrificial lamb of rap style that never lived. Get the bid on the auctioneer with awkward tears. Locked in a sphere, often I'm here. Catch me boxing the square.
Catch me boxed in a square. That means we stop share. How did that rhyme? I don't know why, but it did.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed, folks. We're back in this Build and Destroy show. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and the bell notification. And then also share it to your homies so you can come and kick it with us and talk shit every Sunday around 5 Pacific. Whoa. So, well, let me do this. Since Josh isn't back, I'm going to go ahead and take him out the game for the moment.
I want to say yesterday, there's a little state park, probably 5 miles where I live. I made a vow to go out there and walk the whole trail barefoot. It's like 1.4 miles if you do the whole thing, maybe 1.5. Some mud, sticks, pine needles, dirt, nothing too crazy, but I really made it a goal to do the whole thing barefoot yesterday. And man, yeah, when it was done, I said, I was feeling like how Matthew McConaughey talks. I was just zenned out. That's all I could think when I was done was it was just grounded and chill. I was just so mellow, man. I couldn't explain it. So I recommend, even if you can't go outside and touch grass, just, man, do it with your feet. Like walk outside or just stand there in your yard for a few minutes. Get a little grounding situation going for yourself.
I
think
that.
I think the rubber shoes, are obviously the polar opposite of what grounding is. So the idea is to get out those rubber soles and then get barefoot and stand. And there's a reason why the bottoms of our feet are a different color than the tops, because these things they're made for grounding. They're called soles, so get that solar action. Once you're grounded and then you can receive the sun's light, I think you're doing all you can do, man. And you're doing all you need to do on this planet. You're supposed to assimilate the sun on this earth. Eat the sun and be the sun.
Okay, we got Riceberg back in here. Let me bring him back in.
I gotta re-sign in because every time I get off and get back on, I can never hear y'all.
Can you hear us now?
Say something.
Can you hear me now?
No.
So yeah, make sure you guys ground.
Audio drop down. Well, he said I'm gotta re-sign in and he just make.
And it's funny. Remember, like back then, your mom, your dad, they'd be like, "Yo, you're grounded." That kind of meant like cut off, right? Like we're cutting you off from this, that. Sometimes all we could do is just stand in the yard and just chill with nothing to do. And yeah, I'm starting to have more respect for that word, grounded. Being grounded.
Yo, so in respects to that just makes me think about, well, first I was thinking about just learning more about electricity in general, and magnetic field, and it just makes me want to do more research. But when you're talking about being grounded by parents and not being able to leave the yard, all it made me think of was my oldest cousin, Damon. So my grandmother had diabetes and had her legs amputated. So she was immobile. So Damon was the oldest cousin, so he was pretty much designated as her right-hand man, or, just having to always be available and always there. So he didn't get a chance to fully play and stuff with the other, even siblings. But in their neighborhood, like at the family reunion, I heard other people talking about the shit. Like, yeah, we remember you couldn't come outside and we used to fuck with you, and or you couldn't come out the yard. We used to throw shit in the yard, or do different shit to fuck with you because we knew you couldn't come out. And for him, he was grounded because he did something wrong. Like that was his life. That like growing up, and he came out here to live with us. I think he lived with us for a year. He graduated from Wilson when it was still Wilson. Now it's Silas. But he came out here for that. I think it was about a little over a year. But that was the first cousin that I had really met. And I remember I looked up to him, and hearing that, going back to the family reunion was kind of weird. In that I never knew it about him, but it was more that made sense why he came out and why my dad let him come out. Like, it seemed like the family knew that he had a burden, you know, taking care of his mom. Or his grandma, I should say. He's my cousin, so yeah, that was his grandma. It wasn't his mom. But, yeah, it made sense. And so that's what, when you talk about the grounding of being in trouble, it immediately made me think of that. Like,
yeah, I'm thinking like mycelium, man. I like the way that the mycelium works, because it appears like it's one place, but underneath it's connected to this network. So this idea of, you know, being stationary but still being way over that way too, because it's all connected. But there's almost this it does feel like an internet connection. Once you're grounded and connected, it actually connects you to everything else that is grounded on the grid.
I like that.
That's a cool, yeah, that's a cool vision.
Yeah.
Well,
once you ground, you kind of connect to every other thing that's right and proper in its proper place.
Yeah, right.
Doing its proper motion.
And that's the transfer of energy and information. The mycelium network is not just, you know, being connected, but it's connected for a reason. They transfer the information, resources, you know.
I was thinking that with sand, right? Like when we used to cover each other in the sand at the beach, that's the sand has like the piezoelectricity. There's like always this, humans are like inherently doing things that like benefit them. Like they may not even realize they're doing it. I just feel like it's old DNA. Like we carry it out. Like people that do these mud baths or pack themselves in the mud, and there's all these things that they understand why they're doing it. Like even if they don't understand, like their DNA understands why they're doing that.
Look, this is making me think of more shit from kid perspective too. As you're talking,
kids just be doing it.
No, because I'm thinking about it as a kid. I'm thinking about it as a kid. When you like get something scraped, you'll like spit on your wound, or you know, lick it, or you know, you stab yourself. You immediately like, you're not sucking the blood to drink the blood. You're trying to stop, like you trying to plug the hole and clean it essentially.
Yeah.
Without, and your mouth isn't technically, you know, very non-germified, but it is, your mouth is built for dissolving and actually disintegrating organisms. It has organisms in it. The organisms in it are meant to kill things. The shit in your mouth is not there for germs to survive. Your saliva is there to break shit down. And that's just instinct. Like there's no other way around it. I never heard an adult tell a kid to lick your wound, but that's a term, licking your wounds. That means you got beat up and now you need to go back and recover. But
that's what animals do too.
Yeah, literal sense. I never seen a little toddler that likes shoes, man. They don't. The babies want to be grounded. Every time we put all that stuff on them, that's all they're trying to do is tear it off. They want to run around. I see it all the time. There's something to it.
Why don't you tell us where you're at? High rise, now that you got the widescreen edition going.
Well, my mom's home, Ovilas. It's where my childhood home. My mom's sister is in town from Austin, Texas. You know, my mom is, let's see, 75 or 74, and her older sister's 2 years older than her. And you know, there's no husbands around anymore. So she's kind of staying up here, my aunt, for like 6 months, maybe seeing if she wants to move up here permanently. And so her and my mom, you know, the sisters, might end up shacking up together and holding.
Tell her stop playing around. Just stop playing around. Figure out, get your trailer loaded, stop playing, and just come on through.
Exactly.
Just come on through.
So
there ain't no figuring out period.
She's getting her car shipped up here tomorrow or next.
6 months to
the
figure
next
it
day
out.
It comes. So
no, you know what? That is actually good,
yeah,
because that'll get her a chance. The first 4 months are gonna be so beautiful and great, and then you gotta get a taste of the rain. Because if you're not ready for the rain, it might send you the wrong way. Like,
no, that's a really good point.
Like, look,
that's a really good point. You think you're happy in.
Look, he just froze up. They don't got good Wi-Fi over there by Silas.
Yeah.
That just might be his plan.
Awesome.
Look, do you know that we're clowning you because you're freezing up? No.
Yeah, I noticed I froze.
Okay. You starting to walk through a trail or something, getting too far away from the Wi-Fi router.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I had a question.
I guess so.
I had a question about that Chat GPT. How did it know that I eat a lot of ramen at my house?
What do you mean?
Because it keeps making me Asian. I do eat like an Asian, but what do you think it's pulling from?
I think honestly, it's
pictures on the internet. Are they getting that?
No, I'm taking the screenshot and I feed it in. So I take the screenshot of I try to get one where we're all laughing. That's what I try to get, but it's very hard. So I think like the first one or two that I get from Mae, he's not laughing. His face is like
I want to start
relaxed.
No, so, I want to pose for this shit and see if I could change
it. I know it's weird how wrong that shit can be. How it's
it's also because I'm loading the screenshot of three of us. So if I just took a picture of you, it would do a better impression of one person. But having the three as one, and then I'm like, okay, use this screenshot, and then also let me use this picture of P. Diddy and Cassie, and then also this picture of Joey Badass. So for today's, they got the flaming car in the background with Kid Cudi and a terrible representation of Rayvon, Daylight, and Joey Badass. But they're more cartoony.
I know, it's like hanging around it's like hanging around a person that just doesn't quite get it. Like you got like this person you telling all this info and then they're not laying it all down right. They're just getting it wrong on a fundamental basis.
Yeah,
it's silly.
He's just like saying yeah and shaking its head like, yeah, okay, yeah.
And you think it's understanding and it's just fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
When you ask it to really explain, you're like, oh, you really don't see what's going on here.
Yeah, like when I put in quotes, please adjust the text to say build and destroy because it keeps leaving out a D. So it'll put BLN destroy. Like it's not, because it's not an actual word. It's like it don't want to accept it, but it still will do something similar, but like I'm putting it in quotes. This is what I want the text at the bottom to say. BLDNDSTRY.
Yeah.
Number 31. And then it says BLN. And it is leaving out the like. So yeah, it's not following directions very well. I don't know if it's because it's the paid version, but it's also just one app. So what I'm gonna start doing is fucking around with some other joints, Claude and some other joints, just messing around just to.
No, that shit's funny, man. I want to pose for it. Like I said, just let me know and I'll make a different face. I want to see if I could change it.
Look, man, I'm just taking a screenshot from the random from our shows. I try to
the first one was cool. That was kind of like alien-ish. It's like, oh, you look kind of alien, but now it just looks like I make chow mein.
Well, yeah, I don't know why it's going the Asian route for you again. It could be just actual
or does it
skin complexion. It might not even be facial shape.
Yeah, it's just
it could be
just dumb, dude. It's just like, look at his. You got you're high, so your eyes are, you got high eyes.
Yeah,
and then you're just and then it's just like your skin tone is just dumb. It's just like that's just the extent of the processing of that AI mind. It just stops there.
So
it's like,
funny.
tan complexion, basically. That's just an Asian guy, and then it's just like, and I'm done. There you go. That's what it sees.
Yeah, for real.
It's just like computing is not.
But here's the caveat.
Connecting the dots.
But here's the caveat.
Why did it suddenly start rendering you Whikid after it not being able to? What changed with that?
Good question.
I think it was just a screenshot that I took. I did a different episode, and the lighting would have been the same because my lighting is the same. But yeah, I'm not sure. But it made me look evil in the very first one, like, and then I got consecutively more evil looking over each rendition. But no, it was to the point I told it, I said, make the guy with the brown hat look more handsome. Because it was making me look really evil.
That's funny.
No, I literally typed in the last prompt that it rejected. I typed in.
Oh, shoot. My phone's about to die.
Yeah, I typed in ethnicity. And it was like ethnicity is like something. It's a sticky situation essentially. But it did go. Yeah, it did give the option. But yeah,
that's hilarious.
To me, so we're just playing around with that image creation from text prompt or sample image, like, and again, this is just one app, one service. These companies are throwing so much money into this, And it's really not for us. The consumer level, that's why there's always purchase packages. I'm just using the free shit. Like, you can upgrade and get to a different level, and they're real. I mean, at the end of the day, to me, I just know they're putting so much money into it, they're not going to let it go at this point. It's like once you've invested, it's like, think about it like this. Here's a perfect example. Remember the Nintendo glove?
Yeah.
When the movie The Wizard came out with Fred Savage, and he was supposed to be the big brother, chaperoning the little brother who was the Nintendo wizard, fucking across it. Literally, this movie could not be made today because so many groups would protest against it. And I'm saying they're traveling on their own, children meeting up with underground video game players to battle them. Like, this is a real hip hop shit if you think about it, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And their ultimate goal is to get to the real championship. The Nintendo Battle Championship. Like, that's your goal.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout the movie, and this was a promo for the glove, honestly. This was a mini commercial for when that glove came out. Because that was the first time anyone ever seen it, was in that movie. Like, and I don't even think it worked well. But the concept of it, it could have taken off. And think about it now as if you didn't have a phone and you had the glove, but there was a screen on the glove to where you know, it's on your wrist, like a watch. Like they have watches now, the Apple Watch. Now, they're not at the level. So if you were starting to develop this from 1984, at this point, the glove would just be like a latex glove that you put on, like the kitchen. That's how thin it would be if you were developing the technology for this long. You wouldn't even, like, it wouldn't be like thick like a winter glove or something. Like, it would be extra thin, transparent. It would be built to where you couldn't tell that you were wearing it, except the person wearing it.
Yeah, Wakanda technology right there.
But it's more about where your base starts from. And I think I was just brought that up as an example of turning point in technology and AI and where things are going. It's like, I think we're starting from the wrong base. Or there's other options that we could be exploring. And I don't think those routes are going to be explored without using AI to explore them, which is a ultimate conundrum. Like, you got to use the current technology to look at the potential for a different technology from the current technology. It's back to batteries and electricity. At a certain point, our electricity was direct current, or DC. And someone looked at this technology and said, you know what, it's still electricity, but we could harness more power and have more control over it through this direct current format. Or excuse me, through the alternate current format. So everything now, all our technology is based on alternating current. I don't really know the difference between the two of those. Like, that's why I said I want to learn more and study, but
I want to learn if, your tussles with the AI and the pictures and stuff, is that come by way of just having a free trial versus a paid? Does it get better once you pay, or is this tussle that we have just with rendering, characters or certain things, certain words. Is that what the elite are going to have to deal with as well? Are there going to be elite level tussles with elite level AI systems? The same way that we're, fighting to get the character to look the right way. Is that going to happen on that grand scale as well? Are they going to have to tussle in that way with it?
I think for sure, but I think that they just have
Like
they have fences. Yeah, I think they have what's called sandboxes and just fenced in environments where they can play around and get things to a certain level, and they've got money and hours and engineers to throw at it and to all be playing around with the same picture. And
I see.
How do we get and they're gonna, and yes, I know for a fact that the paid version is going to be better because it's going to be faster. It's going to allow you to give it more information at a quicker pace, and the number of sample images or examples that you can give it increases as as you pay your subscription up. So okay. Right now, that's what's cutting me off is, so here's what I would say. If I fed it 5 different pictures of you,
like the Roo, right? Yeah, like you can't make like a full Roo yet with the free version, but with the full version, you can cook that full Roo and have those flavors develop.
But it's also the training. So so each kind of prompt that you can start a fresh prompt. And so if I started a fresh prompt and fed it like 10 different pictures of you and said, this is Mae Dali, like recreate this person, these are all the samples, the recreation would look a lot more like you. But I could say, make him as a cartoon or make him,
I see,
but when it's just using one picture to say these are 3 random dudes, all we know is what these pictures. Like we can't recreate the picture because the computer is just looking at more. It's like if it was broken down into code. It's like the color of your skin is a certain number on the CMKY database, and it's like,
that makes sense.
Eyebrows or eyes, spaced this far apart. Like having a hat on is just has a hat. But I don't know. It's getting better, but to me, it's more about just playing around with it and knowing that it's coming, and all these companies are using it. A lot, it's just going to keep coming. It's going to be like an avalanche, and my goal is to be able to get to a point where I don't have to use it, to where I don't have to use technology. Like if I can get to a level, people used to want to live off grid. I don't want to live off grid necessarily. I just want to be able to. And have enough resources lined up and savings and but using it is going to help me get there.
Yes, sir.
So I might as well use it now while it's new. It's like get on the internet and set you up a website before anyone even knows that's a thing.
Exactly. A lot of people are going to get left behind with this new age. That's all I've been recommending people is just keep up, man. Keep up and don't get left behind. There is people out here where I live. They're educating themselves, reading books. Some of them know it's coming, and I give them kudos for trying to keep up, because you do got to keep updating your personal system. Like everybody should be going through personal system updates you know, and we should definitely be trying to be a better updated version of our ancestors. Like I want to make sure that I am Robert's 10.10 or whatever model that I'm on. I want to make sure I'm the updated current running model of, you know, my last name.
Listen, man, you're bringing me right to the topic that I wanted to talk about. And it is acknowledging that the world is full. The majority of folk is really going back to that philosophy of the 5%, 10%, and 85%. They said, you know, the 5% are, you know, have some enlightenment and use it for the benefit of the world. There's 10% that have enlightenment. Twice as many, you know, they have the same enlightenment as the 5%, but they use it for self-indulgence or actual negative impact on the world. There are actual evil people in the world, like there really are. And then the 85% of folks that are just trying to survive and go through life. And for most of the days and times, I feel part of just the 85%. But when I get on the internet, I realize I'm not. The internet and social media is a quick realization of how wild and crazy. I'll just say Americans. I don't speak on the rest of the world. Americans, from state to state to state, socioeconomic class, race, like we are a group of wild, ignorant people with some smart folks mixed in. Keeping everything going.
And, did you hear that crazy stat about online traffic? How like 60 to 70% is not real humans. And that's the sad part too, is that's what's sad, is that it's indistinguishable between the robots and the 85ers. Because now we're convinced that everybody on there is people. And it's because some of the people are so dumb that they literally resemble the AI bots.
You're not lying. I would say this, that the people resemble dumber than AI bots. So AI bots can get away with, you know, if you're just not, you know, AI bots can convince old people. It's like a spammer.
Yeah,
you can send an old person an email that says, "Hey, I'm your bank, and someone has hacked into your account. You need to send me your login right now. You got to send me your password."
Yeah, that's a good point right there.
But there's people that, man. So the reason why I bring this up, because most of the time, I think the ridiculousness on the internet is one of two things. Is people doing their own posts, Instagram or whatever, showing how stupid they are, and they're talking into their phone. Everyone has their audience, their family, like they feel like they're really talking to people that they know and that are their supporters. And then there's the branch of people that is like on the street interviews where they ask them the questions, and those people they be like, name a country, or they be like, name a state in America. People can't name states, and you're from America,
right?
Or they be asking them the funniest questions, and people just math questions, like, of course, and these are people that are intoxicated. They're catching them on the strip in Miami or LA or in these major tourist areas, but it's still those are the two main ones. But this new one that got me, that I can't stop watching, but it's more frustrating, is this financial shit. There's this podcast where this dude, it's a white dude, and it's really professional. Like he has his own podcast studio. He has a desk, and he's going through the actual financial papers. He's flipping through physical papers and reading these people's bank statements and credit card statements. And this has made me just feel appreciative and really be scared, honestly. I'd be like, if there's this many people like this in America, like we're going to be suffering some tough times ahead.
Yes, sir.
Because these are people that have kids and that are like clueless on life. Like, don't understand basic budgeting. They don't know how much money they spend. They spend more than they make. Like this show, that's the consistent theme. Is everyone spends more than they make, and they do it by using all these plethora of credit cards. And he goes through and pulls out all the credit card statements and says, okay, here's your income. Here's if we took just paying the minimum balance on all these different cards plus your normal rent and utilities, and people are just living way and they're having fun. It's because they're financing trips on credit cards. They're buying mad fucking shit for their house, new couches and beds, and like
they be Grubhubbing it, man. Like,
oh shit!
I knew somebody told me
the Uber Eats.
Yeah, somebody told me they was hitting like 1,500 like a month on that, and I was like, yo, buy some pants, yo. Like, come on.
So this is a real thing. So I just wanted to, I know I was long-winded in going through the topic, but this really, like I said, it makes me fearful for like how our country, especially with all the tariff stuff, like with everything that's going on, like I feel like we are the most unprepared as a country when I look at this landscape of people. And I mean, the stats say over 50% of Americans don't got $500 in a savings account somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. So what are your overall thoughts on that? Like,
and a lot of them don't know what it's like to not have food for a couple days. And imagine what people is doing when they starving and they don't got, you know what I'm saying, like medication, can't pay the bill. Like Pac was right in that sense about people being hungry. That's when the real revolution starts, is once people start skipping meals, and once that hangry kicks in, that's when it's going to get really spooky outside.
My thing is just, but I feel like the world has always been hard. I mean, I can speak from the black folks' perspective, being just a working class person. It's never been easy to like get ahead. Like if black folks, we always feel like we're just struggling to make it.
Mm-hmm.
But this new trend is not the black folks of struggling to make it that I come from. The struggling to make it that I come from is budgeting and sucking it up. And I don't remember ever going out to eat as a kid. We never went to a restaurant. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? For your birthday, for this birthday, for that birthday, all these extravagant holidays. Everyone, you're going all out on fucking Easter and buying all types of new clothing for Easter to take pictures. Like, what the fuck is everyone doing? You're taking all these trips and you're living life and enjoying life, but you can't afford it. And I feel like that's the part that is missed when, just in general, when we talk about black folks and our position in society, why we're not moving up. Like, we had actual fucking cities and communities that we had. When we were doing good, they fucking bombed us to take us out of there.
Yeah.
But now it's like we're not trying to get there. We want to look like we're balling, but we don't want to work together and actually be successful. Or even not just work together, just work smart for yourself. Don't fucking spend more than you make. Like, everyone's trying to look cool for social media.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I was thinking when I was walking yesterday in the woods, I was like, why don't people be shooting videos in the woods? Like, that would be hard as shit. Like, instead of the convenience store on top of the car, like, go to the woods. Like, get you some natural effects. It was popping out there yesterday. The colors, the lighting, like, the earth was just doing stuff that your camera don't got to do. It was just doing it for you. You just got to be there. And I was just like, man, just the duality of that in itself. You're bringing, electricity to the woods. So that alone is fire on its own.
We got some scenes in the woods for my Wisdom is Amen video with high rise.
We need more nature rap videos, man. With the sight.
Up in the trees and shit.
Yeah, we need that. Like, start showing that mountain off and all that stuff.
No, this is making me think of video ideas now. Starting to go off.
I mean, that's what we're known for, is that mountain. So if we're not doing like nature adjacent or mountain adjacent things, it's kind of not tapping in or grounding to our territory. So I think we need to use just our nature as a muse for what we do too, because it's like we could piggyback it. It'll be a natural cohesion.
No, I think you're fucking definitely right, because there's people that grow up and just where they're at is flat. Like, that's where my mom grew up in Texas. Like, she said you could just see, like, it's flat. There's no hill at all. Like, it's just straight flat. You could see to the next city over.
Wow.
If you're high enough in whatever building you're in, you could see the next city that far away. And so, yeah, all of our different hills and valleys, and the mountain in particular, like, it actually is surreal when you come from a different place that doesn't have that, and you be like, dang, that's what a mountain looks like, and as you start driving and getting closer and closer, the image starts changing. And I'm all down for using our
people,
iconic.
Lake Crescent, it's still it's almost an identifiable color. The color changes so much that they haven't really placed actual color on Lake Crescent. And they don't know the true depths of it. And that's out here. We have so much gems like that out here, and I agree. Somebody said you don't appreciate out here until you go to like a Kansas or something like that. But we do. We have that formation out here with those ridges and valleys. It creates character and little pockets everywhere where stuff changes every 15 minutes out here. I imagine if you go out like Midwest, it's probably a lot of the same. Every town is more of the same. But out here, you drive 20, 30 minutes and you be in a whole different world. People dress different. Sometimes they talk different. And these little micro worlds out here, when you have these ridges and these pockets geographically, and people choose to settle. So that's cool to see too. I'm learning like every 15 or 20 minutes that things change. Like dialects can change, clothes, habits on a social level.
Yeah, because it's the area of community recognition. Like that's what communities are. Is when you're in that certain mile radius, everyone knows these same stores. Everyone goes to this same one or two schools. So the landmarks and land and sites, become just ubiquitous amongst the folks of that area. So it's like referencing. If you're from Hilltop, you're going to reference certain things.
Yeah.
If you're from North End, you're going to reference Chalet Bowl.
That's why hip hop rules to me, man. Like we get to touch everywhere and we get to tap in momentarily and then we get to uproot. Like to me, that's total mycelium network because we get to go in these little pockets, different bars, taverns, clubs. We get to absorb energy, give it back, and move on, but we carry it. And it's almost like a Rolodex where when you go back to that area, part of your sensory reminds you like, hey, this is what happens out here. Like you get this intel that's stored away that doesn't leave when you go to these areas and come back and return and come back versus just being stationary. Like hip hop accomplishes so much in so many different ways that I love it. To me, it's still the strongest force on the planet. There's just endless analogies and metaphors for it and what you could achieve through it.
Facts.
Like that's why we can go to Switzerland and rock a show, because these people are tapped in. So they know your language, they know your beat, they know who produced it. Like I don't know what's messing with that. That's, to me, that's the epitome of mycelium networking.
Well, look, man, I'm ready to get down. We had Uncle Mike recently. We already established we're gonna be hitting the basement venue.
Yeah, underground.
Some sort of performance aspect, but we lost High Rise. So I mean, we're perfectly right at our ending point. We haven't done a show and tell.
I got one because I wanted to get off on Egon real quick.
Okay, well, bust out yours. I got mine laid out. Let me go grab it. But you can show yours and just talk about it. I got my volume turned up loud enough to I could still hear you.
Yeah, this right here is Quasimodo. This was a alter ego that Madlib created off of a night of eating mushrooms or whatever. Excellent album. I had to get the instrumentals. I've rapped over plenty of them. But I just wanted to say that Egon trying to hold back Madlib from dropping him and Mac Miller's stuff. Come on, man. Come on, man. I know Madlib's suing you. Please, just let the music breathe. Forget the shenanigans and the politics. Just let hip-hop live, man. Egon. Madlib done kept you going for a long time. He was the number one workhorse. Let him do his thing, man. Let him put that shit out. Especially coming off of the fire. Them instrumentals.
I didn't hear all of that, but I heard most of it.
I'm mad because basically the guy that used to run Stone's Throw with Madlib. Madlib was the workhorse for that label.
For sure.
There's supposed to be a collab album, Mac Miller and Madlib coming out.
Oh, whoa, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it got put on pause because of the legality stuff that's going on between him and the label. Madlib's trying to sue Egon, or is suing him. He's been trying to break away from that guy for a long time. And he's the one that had Doom's rhyme book and wouldn't give it to the family. So I'm just saying, enough of that type stuff, and let's get back to letting hip hop live. That legality shit is. So this
motherfucker's a actual notorious villain.
Yeah, like that shit has repeatedly came up, and I'm tired of Egon doing that shit with Madlib's legacy, especially off of the fire too. Madlib lost a lot of his shit in that fire, probably all them shits. So stop fucking around, man.
Well, like I said, in this world, whether you're in the 5%, 10%, 85%, you're still in the 100%, and a lot of them motherfuckers really, I can't say a lot of them, but there's some of them that really are just not good people. They're evil. They're negative energy. Yeah. Not negative in the term of negative and positive like a magnet or electricity that we talking about.
He held Stone's Throw down for years, Egon, and you know that shit. And he brought to you Doom and Dilla just off the magnetism. So stop acting like you ain't been sucking off Madlib's juice for decades, man. Stop playing. And you go to all the foreign countries and buy up all the hot records. So leave hip-hop alone, man. Just let people that do it. Get out the way, please.
Parasitic, acidic. What is it? That was one of High Rises. You're a reptilian lizard. That was
Yeah, you don't make the beats. But you want all the records, so stop mining and hoarding and just trying to sell samples on third-party websites and all that, man. Just stop leeching.
That's some bullshit. Now that I didn't even put together what you said. Now I just
because you know all these samples that you can pay for and all that stuff. Now you could buy these samples, but there's people like him they've been mining the globe for them shits these last decades.
So they'll go and find, let's say, just a random group from
all the rare stuff,
Tanzania or Puerto Rico,
and then they've been licensing it, and then they put it out under their label.
Yeah, but they give the local folks, the actual creators, a bad deal.
Yeah,
because they found it. And no one else has approached them to give them any money. So
yeah,
like, look, we'll give you $1,000.
Yeah,
we give you $1,000 American dollars.
For real.
Sign this deal that lets us make $50 million. Because we're gonna sell your saying. Because with that type of website, you own the right to the sample, you know, the original material, but how many people are going to use that in this whole website by the sample system?
Yes.
And you're still, even if as a producer, if you're on that website, it's not like when you pay $50 to use that sample or $100, you still, if your fucking record blows up, you still have to give your percentage goes back. You know, there's a percentage that still goes back because otherwise the business wouldn't be making money.
Mm-hmm.
So they're making money off the publishing and royalty aspect by going and
they make money off the beat packs.
I mean, that's cool to go and find the good samples, and it just seems like a griftery.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of work, but you're getting overly compensated. Like it's not an equal distribution to the artists and the people that you're finding the samples from to include in these packs. Like I don't I can't picture a band in the Philippines that made just one album, but that one album got 7 songs, and within the 7 songs, there's fucking 100 different good sample loops to take from.
Mm-hmm.
And if you break it down on how many people use each sample loop, what their subscription to the website is, plus what they pay for the specific sample, like I'd feel like especially if they're smart enough to feed it into whatever AI, a different company, like besides having it available to producers, you make it available to the people, the websites that do AI production. Like use my shit as the resource.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that those deals aren't already cut.
Yeah.
You think you're buying the sample, but they already sold that sample to 100 other producers,
mm-hmm.
and to the AI folks that are going to recreate other samples for a new pack that's based on this actual real song.
Yes.
This batch of songs. Like, because you can just feed them, hey, feed them this album. Hey, give me 10 other albums with this same feel. Or you can feed them 10 albums and say, give me one album with all these 10 albums merging together. And now it's a royalty-free sample because it's AI-generated music. As long as there's no actual stolen chords or recreated chords, which you could run another algorithm over the top of that to verify that, or you can just run it through Kazam or Kazaa, whatever the app is where it can read your song and see if it's...
Yeah,
it's like they're making it easier and easier for the robots to monetize.
Yeah,
without doing anything, or for you to monetize using the robots without doing anything.
It's already taken over lo-fi hip hop. I watched this dude makes probably 6 figures off of lo-fi hip hop instrumentals, and he said AI is definitely taking over that side of YouTube right now.
And it's them it's like the smoking joints, like the smooth bobs.
Yeah, those kids like to study to it and stuff like that.
Nah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he said that stuff like that is cutting into his thing, right? Because he found a pocket within the lo-fi hip hop sound, so he found a way to chisel his own sound within lo-fi. But he said, there's countless AI playlists now that are outperforming mine. They're doing what we do now, and it's pretty much taken over. And he said, people in that fan base, they're not going to critique, they just want something to listen to, so they're not necessarily hating that. They just want something to play in the background. They're not critical listeners in that way.
It's perfect. It's a perfect setup.
Yeah, it really is, for them to get that lane first, That's the big one that I've seen people have been crying out in the lo-fi hip-hop community.
Well, it's also the perfect setup for the Crew Up universe. Like, because we're going I'm switched topics. I want to make sure, I want you, because it's really going to be me, you, and Josh, I think, at this point, developing out on that script. Because I was generated, but it was from all my prompts. So I fed it exactly what to create. Like, it didn't come up with that just out of the blue. Like, I fed it. I was like, man, we need this shit to be funny, like Martin, and reference the Boondocks, and like I was feeding it the good information.
Man, yeah, you could tell, man.
But we need to go through the full script and adjust things to actual language, because I want to record like if we can record a couple episodes, because that's a new thing too. People listening to these well, it's not even new. It's blowing up to the point where I get nonstop ads about this fucking vampire system story, the audio books.
Reading scripts, right?
But I'm saying we can finalize at least like 2 good episodes and record them. And we might have to figure out, who can play whatever character or whatnot, but man, we got to do that, because we can put the recordings out just audio by itself, and then those can, might grow and build its own audience, just because the actual topics, the jokes, if we put the jokes in there, how they got they have it set up like really good. We just got to fine tune it. And I can't say I set the shit up really good with the tools, the technology that I have available to me. So, man, we can go through that and just like focus on the first few episodes and get the script really tight and actually record it like we're making the cartoon, because that's how they do the cartoons anyway. They record the script and the animators come over top, after, the audio gets edited first mostly.
Yeah. No, let's do that, man. I got a few voices in the tuck for that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's going to come down to who's trying to do the work. First, we got to get the script done, and then who's trying to record and get it done. If we got to do multiple characters ourselves, then that's how we got to do. Or if we can bring in other folks to represent the characters, but to get 2 or 3 episodes locked in on the audio side, man, that's now we have a viable product that can actually go on podcasts and get its own views and listens, spins. But also now we can take that and pursue animators and say, look, we got 3 episodes ready. We can give you the writing background, but also here are the actual audio episodes. They're done. All we need is the animation behind it. And I think that's probably a more economical model too, because if you come and present, to get 30 minutes of animation based on the price that I got previously is not affordable for a regular person. One of us have to get a good a lottery ticket to afford a 30-minute episode, let alone 2 or 3, just to get started. But I feel real confident, man. I do. But yeah, well, shoot, we're extended on our normal time. You have anything last to leave our audience with? The folks that come to chop it up with us, build.
Remember your ancestors tomorrow, and anybody that fought the fight for whatever cause, give it up for them. And normally what we would do is the plate of food that we would make, we would leave one out and put it on the table, and that was for the ancestors, and you leave it out for them to eat. And you could dispose of it the next day, but it's just a thoughtful ritual to kind of do, is make a plate and set it to the side for those folks. Or if you knew a family member that did something, do something that they liked. And those are little ways to remember them or honor them.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up, because just to end it, I mean, some people don't always realize that black folks have real traditions, and even as a black folk person myself, sometimes I forget some of those. So as you're saying that, now it's something I have to do. Make sure I get done tomorrow, because it's real. Now that you said it, as you were saying it, I'm thinking about the stories of people talking about feeling like the ancestors ate the food and they got the nourishment and they could feel it afterwards.
Yeah. I want to say they've done little funky tests like that, you know, where they weighed it or they
I heard that.
And yeah, it has less of what it had when you left it there, kind of thing.
But I'm saying less of the scientific and measuring weight, but more of the spiritual aspect of the nourishment. Like, it's the acknowledgement of your ancestors, and they gain nourishment from that.
Yeah,
because that's how they continue to live. They live through you, but when you acknowledge them as that their actual being helping to establish you, it's like the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good reference.
This nigga didn't even know he was a ghost. He didn't even know he was dead. There's another movie like that too. I can't remember what the other one is, but it's like a way to bring your ancestors in with you and keep them with you.
Yeah.
And like you said, realize that if you really think about it, you came out of the nuts of somebody that came out of the nuts, over millions of years. Eventually, you would go back to like a pre-human. You wouldn't even be really considered a human. You didn't have language, but you had skills. You learned how to throw a rock and catch a fish. Like, you go back that far. And I think at a certain point, we don't even know our great grandparents. I don't really. I mean, I can't speak for other people, but it's something that I have on my agenda to get locked in and knowledgeable about. Other ethnicities, they know 7 generations back. Black folks is just something that I think we don't have because we were stripped of it to begin with. The ones that are here in America.
Yeah, so I guess that's all that grounding could do for you, or for us, is everything's encoded. It feels like you're trying to get into something that's encrypted, and you got to do these certain things to allow you to access the hard drive, that double helix, that DNA. And it's funny, like, we are high maintenance beings on this planet just because of our makeup. So we do require more than the average person. Like, we do require charging in the sun. We do require certain foods in our body. There's things that we got to do. And I feel like the more we do those, the more you get these little access codes. And I feel like, back to the kid thing, like, we'll start subconsciously doing things that we may not understand quite yet, but it's coming from a place of antiquity, and it's a primordial thing. It's total darkness information. So Black people are odd in that way. Like, we go in the dark to get light. That's our shit. That's how we operate, and it'll always be like that.
Well, shit. I like the sound of that as an ending. It'll always be like that. Like, that should be a final closing. Look, this is the Build and Destroy show, where we come together and talk with each other as brethren in this game of hip hop, specifically in the Northwest region of the United States of America. And you got to say your tagline. What's the tagline? That's I forgot.
Mae Dali. Mae Dali.
No, that's how we ended like that. Or what did you just say? I forgot it that fast. I'm gonna rewind it and I'm gonna write it down. How about that? But I'm hitting stop on the screen. Once again, we love and appreciate everyone that shows up. Check us out. We would love to see you in the comments. Leave your suggestions for topics. If you want any people, folks for us to interview, we are going to be rolling out new guests very soon. So we appreciate everyone's patience, and we will be back at you next Sunday around 5 p.m. Pacific time.